Welcome to the Global North Korea. My name is Seol. I am the president of the East Asia Institute, which runs this program. It is a distinct honor for me to host this conversation with Minister of Unification, Kim Yungho. Thank you, Minister, for being here.
Thank you for inviting me to explain Yoon government North Korea policies. I appreciate great effort by East Asian Institute in its global North Korean program. I hope East Asia Institute continue to make effort to promote North Korean issues and North Korean human rights problems.
Thank you very much. As you know, Minister Kim is also Professor Kim. Is a leading expert in international relations in Korea before joining the government 100 days ago. So it's going to be a very rich and thoughtful conversation. Let me begin with the Camp David Summit. In that summit, three leaders from Korea, Japan, and the United States adopted three documents, namely Spirit of Camp David, Camp David Principles, and Commitment to Consult. These documents address number one, reaffirmation of goal of complete denuclearization of North Korea, condemnation of North Korea's conventional military actions, such as missile launches, and joint responses to illicit cyber activities, and resumption of dialogue without preconditions, and finally, efforts to promote human rights within North Korea. With this, would you tell us your assessment of these documents, and particularly pertaining to the Ministry of Unification?
Before we discuss the main content of the agreement at Camp David, I want to emphasize one of the main characteristics of Yoon government foreign policy approach. Is a value-based approach. This approach is also reflected in its principled North Korea policies. The Republic of Korea and the United States and Japan shares common values such as freedom, democracy, and human rights. These shared values lay the foundation for the agreement at Camp David to deal with North Korean nuclear and missile threat, as you mentioned. This document will contribute to maintaining peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula, as well as in the East Asian region. North Korea's nuclear and missile threat continue to increase with its missile provocations and preparations for seventh nuclear test at the Punggye-ri. So the three leaders agreed to strengthen deterrence measures against North Korean threat. In addition to strengthening deterrence measures, the three countries decided to share North Korea's missile information on a real-time basis. Three countries decided to conduct trilateral naval exercises to cope with North Korea's submarine operations. With these strengthened deterrence measures, three leaders offered North Korea to come to the nuclear negotiation tables without preconditions. And another important agenda at Camp David was North Korean human rights issue. Three leaders agreed to have high-level consultations to promote the issue. The leaders also confirmed their commitment to find immediate solution for abductees, detainees, and the prisoner of Korean War. When I appointed the Minister of Unification, I decided to establish a special task force to deal with this issue. So we make great effort to solve this issue after Camp David agreement was reached. And also regarding unification issue, three leaders agreed to pursue a new vision for free and peaceful, unified Korea. In the past, United States and ROK leaders adopted a declaration that future Korea's unification must be based on liberal democracy and market economy. At this Camp David Summit meeting, Japan joined the United States in supporting for a new vision for free and peaceful, unified Korea. With the adoption is this new vision, unification diplomacy of the ministry will gain momentum. So unification ministry will continue to achieve the goal of peaceful unification in line with Camp David agreement.
Excellent. You start from Yoon government's foreign policy that you characterize as value-based foreign policy. And in that regard, you come down to North Korean issues, particularly deterring North Korean attempts to develop weapons. And you mentioned human rights issues, which is increasingly important as the government emphasizes universal values. And third, you mentioned unification vision, which has been agreed by the United States and Japan to and unification diplomacy will be leveraged in that way. So that is a very good start. My second question is about Audacious Initiative. The recent Camp David Summit focused intensively on the measures to deter North Korean nuclear threat and then dissuade nuclear development through sanctions and pressure, which is among the Yoon government's 3D North Korean policy. Could you explain continuity and change between Audacious Initiative that came out last year and this Camp David that came out in August?
President Yoon Suk-yeol proposed the Audacious Initiative in his famous National Liberation Day speech in August 2022. This initiative will improve North Korea's economy and its people's livelihood in stages if North Korea give up its nuclear weapons program and returns to the nuclear negotiation table. However, North Korea does not want to give up its nuclear programs. Under these circumstances, it is very important to strengthen combined deterrence measures against North Korea's nuclear and missile threat. In addition to deterrence, three countries needed to work together to dissuade North Korea from developing its nuclear program. For North Korea to develop its nuclear program, they need funding and money. North Korea tried to get illegal foreign currency, cyber hacking. So three countries need to create a strategic environment in which North Korea give up its nuclear program and return to dialogue by strengthening sanctions against the North Korea. So this audacious initiative takes a holistic approach of achieving North Korea's denuclearization. Coordinated trilateral cooperation is essential in the process of implementing this audacious initiative based on 3D strategies. It's why three leaders at Camp David agreed to support President Yoon's audacious initiative.
So in that regard, we look more closely at North Korea. North Korea currently pursues frontal breakthrough strategy, 정면 돌파전, and refuse to engage in dialogue, focus on increasing nuclear capabilities, constitutionalize nuclear force building policy, continue anti-American front as demonstrated by recent Russia-North Korea summit, and support for Hamas, and aim to make its status as a nuclear armed state irreversible. So given this situation, which is really challenging to audacious initiative, what efforts do you think are needed from South Korea and international community to achieve this very difficult task of denuclearization?
And first of all, it is crucial to make North Korea understand that its nuclear development will not yield anything beneficial to North Korea. It is important to make it clear that international community cannot recognize North Korea as a nuclear state. And North Korea is trying to take advantage of unstable international environment, as you just mentioned. Kim Jong-un held a summit with Putin, and North Korea has provided artillery cells to Russia, and in return try to get technologies for military surveillance satellites. So international community needs to work together to prevent Russia and North Korean military cooperation from further destabilizing the Korean peninsula. UN Security Council and international community put sanctions against North Korea to dissuade from developing nuclear and missile programs. However, China and Russia sanctions against North Korea. They are also very reluctant to put new sanctions against North Korea when North Korea violated UN sanctions. So we need to find a way to make China and Russia play a more responsible and constructive role in implementing UN Security Council resolutions.
As you mentioned before, North Korean human rights issue, humanitarian conditions are becoming an increasingly important issue, and you told us that basic principles and philosophy of this government's foreign policy is value-based. So in that regard, South Korean governments put special attention to humanitarian and human rights issues, and that is also addressed in the Camp David principles. So how is the Ministry of Unification advancing cooperation with international community to improve North Korean humanitarian conditions?
Yoon government approach to addressing human rights issues in North Korea is based on universal human values. A free and peaceful unified Korea cannot be realized if freedom and human rights are not guaranteed for North Koreans. We need to gain a thorough understanding of deteriorating human rights conditions in North Korea. The Yoon government published the Human Rights Report in North Korea in 2023. It is the first governmental level report. The report will be published on an annual basis to disseminate human rights conditions in North Korea. The Ministry of Unification conduct interviews with all North Korean defectors when they enter the resettlement center called Hana 1. The government will continue to disseminate this information to gain domestic and international consensus on the seriousness of this issue. Recently, we have invited the members of the diplomatic mission in Seoul to explain the government direction for North Korean human rights and how we will strengthen the cooperation with international community. We plan to hold such a meeting on a regular basis to improve awareness in North Korean human rights situations. And also, the Yoon government is working closely with the United Nations. The Yoon government this year co-sponsored the UN resolutions on North Korean human rights. And the government is supporting and working together with domestic and international human rights NGOs. The Ministry of Unification hold Korea Global Forum to discuss and promote North Korean human rights with distinguished scholars and activists around the world. And the Yoon government has initiated the establishment of the National North Korean Human Rights Center. The budget for this center has been secured with the help of the National Assembly. The center will play an important role for promoting North Korean human rights issue. Finally, I want to make that the government is pursuing humanitarian assistance to North Korea, regardless of political and military situations. So, humanitarian assistance to North Korea cannot be separated from promoting North Korean human rights situations.
Thank you very much. Now, let's turn to unification issue. You mentioned unified Korean peninsula that is free and peace. Could you tell us a bit more about that vision, and are you taking steps to realize those visions?
Yes, a vision for a free and peaceful, unified Korea secured support from United States and Japan at the historic Camp David Summit, as you mentioned. We will promote this vision on occasions of bilateral and multilateral summit in the future to gain support from international community. Ministry of Unification will do the same through international dialogues and meetings with diplomatic missions in Seoul. As more countries throughout the world support our new vision for free unified Korea, a more favorable environment will be created for the peaceful unification based on the principles of freedom, democracy, and human rights. So the Ministry of Unification will continue to make great effort to achieve the goal of peaceful unification by promoting a new vision for unification.
We are almost closing this dialogue. I understand that the last week was your 100 days in office. Can you reflections on those 100 days and also your future plans as minister? Maybe you can give us some specific areas you really want to move forward.
Yes, after my appointment as Minister of Unification, organizational changes has been made to cope with four main tasks. Number one, we will continue to make great effort to achieve the goal of complete, verifiable, irreversible dismantlement of North Korea's nuclear programs. So the Yoon Suk-yeol government proposed the audacious initiative to North Korea. We urge North Korea to return to the nuclear negotiation tables. Second, we will come up with diverse measures to promote North Korean human rights issue. The Ministry of Unification will announce the human rights roadmap for North Korea at the end of this year. With this roadmap, the ministry will work together with domestic and international human rights NGOs. Third, we will make diplomatic effort to secure support for a new vision for a free and peaceful unified Korea. The ministry will make systematic preparations to achieve this vision on the governmental level. Finally, we will help North Korean defectors settle down in South Korea. In December this year, the ministry will hold the job fair for the North Korean defectors for the first time. This job fair will help North Koreans to find a way to secure a decent job. The Ministry of Unification will be dedicated to realizing the mandate of Constitution of the Republic of Korea, which is a peaceful unification based on the principles of freedom and democracy and human rights. I ask for your interest in and support for the policies and the activities of the Ministry of Unification.
Thank you for the great conversation. I'm sure that the audience around the world really enjoyed it. And also thank you for your service to the nation. And once again, it is an honor and privilege to have you here at Global North Korea. And on behalf of EAI, we wish you a great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.